Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to Bookie Monsters. My name is PK. It is Tuesday, September the 3rd. I'm going to have to really gear in that it's Tuesday. It's not Monday, it's Tuesday. Hope you had a good Labor Day weekend. Mine wasn't bad. I crocheted a whole lot on the start over of the wedding Afghan / bedspread because it's that big. And I finished a book. I think that was on Saturday. I finished Triple Cross by Tom Bradby, my first book for Spy vs. Spy September. I gave it 4 stars. I started City Spies, book 4, City of the Dead. Really, really enjoying that. And a new book. I got new books today with new release day, Tuesday. And so I started Passions in Death by J.D. Robb, and I got a library book hold come in by Stuart Taylor. And I can't think of that one. It has something mountain in the title. So my reading overfloweth, and it's a good problem to have. Linda says, "Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? Is it okay to read a nonfiction spy by David Wise?" Yes, absolutely. You might learn some skills too. Bonus. All right. Let us get going. So being Tuesday, we are looking at the new releases that are mysteries and thrillers. Good morning, Anita. How you doing? And let's see, quick announcements. It's Tuesday. I do have sprints tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. I do them 3 times a week, every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons. All right, let us jump into the mysteries and thrillers being released this week. Speaking of the J.D. Robb, this is the one I have started. It is book number 59. We love her for this. 2 times a year. This is called Passions in Death by J.D. Robb, which is really Nora Roberts. On a hot August night, Lieutenant Eve Dallas and her husband Rourke speed through the streets of Manhattan to the Down and Dirty Club, where a joyful, boisterous pre-wedding girls' night out has turned into a murder scene. One of the brides lies in a pool of blood, garroted in a private room where she was preparing a surprise for her fiancé to scrimp and save 4 tickets to Hawaii. Despite the dozens of people present, useful witnesses are hard to come by. It all brings back some bad memories for Eve, who once suffered an assault in the very same room. But she'd been able to fight back and survive. She'd gotten justice, and now she needs to provide some for poor young Aaron. Eve knows that the level of violence and the apparent premeditation involved suggest a volatile mix of hidden, heated passion and ice-cold calculation. This is a crime that can be countered only by hard detective work and relentless dedication, and Eve will not stop until she finds the killer who destroyed this couple's dreams before the honeymoon even began. And I forgot to share the screen. This is the one I was talking about. If you are nervous that this is also Nora Roberts, if you've never read J.D. Robb, the first couple in the series have more romance than the rest of the series. This is a police procedural series. It is set slightly in the future. Next up, a new Ava Glass. I have read this one. This is a series, absolutely good series for Spy vs. Spy September. First book is called Alias Emma. I was able to, for some reason, got an arc through NetGalley. I never get NetGalley ones that I apply for. I got this one. So yes, I would say book 2 had a sophomore slumpish, just a little bit. This one is back on track. This is called The Trap. She has just 1 week to stop a killer. Emma Makepeace is headed to Edinburgh for the global G7 summit when her team is tipped off about a high-profile assassination the Russians are planning, but they have no idea who the target is. Surrounded by the world's most powerful political leaders in a gridlocked city, Emma must trap must set a trap and use herself as bait. With time running short, Emma faces the most perilous mission of her career. How far will she go to catch the killer? Indeed. Again, I forgot to share it. I'm so sorry. I think I gave this a 4.5. I'll get into the swing of this, I promise. Brain cells aren't all firing. There we go. Next up, Attica Locke has a new one, Guide Me Home, third in the Highway 59 series. Texas Ranger Darren Matthews isn't sure he's been a good cop, but believes he's got a shot at being a good man if he manages to dodge the potential indictment hanging over his head and if he, from here on out, pledges allegiance to the truth. It's a virtue the country appears to have fully lost its grip on, but one Darren sees as his salvation. He is in the midst of remaking his life with the woman he loves, hoping for the peace of country living at his beloved farmhouse when he is visited by someone who couldn't hold the truth on her tongue if it was dipped in sugar. A woman who's always been bent on tearing his life apart. His mother. Armed with a tall tale about a missing black college student, Sarah, whose white sorority sisters insist she isn't missing at all, Darren must decide if he can trust his mother is telling the truth and what her ulterior motive may be. And what if that motive has to do with a grand jury deciding his fate? Darren gets his hooks into the investigation, along the way discovering things about Sarah's family and her hometown that are odd at best, vaguely sinister at worst. Hamstrung by local law enforcement and the Texas Rangers who likewise doubt the account of a missing girl, if Darren wants answers, he'll need help from the person whom he swore never to trust again, his mother. There were a lot of misuse of words in that summary. Grammar Police. I am a badge-carrying member of the Grammar Police. I specialize in adverbs, but where there is a crime, there is a crime. I'm on a wait list for Passions. Ooh, I love those books. The Whitewashed Tombs by, okay, I never know how to pronounce this. Quay. Marcelo Tete, 27-year-old LGBTQ plus activist, is butchered one night after being lured on a dating app to a deserted building site. With rampant homophobia in Ghana, Marcello's wealthy father doesn't trust the Ghana police service to find the killer, so he goes to the SOA private investigators agency for help, partly because he feels guilty for disowning his son when he came out. P.I. Emma Jean is assigned the case, but quickly learns of a complication that prevents her from teaming up as usual with Jojo, her trusted colleague. Emma is the only one at work who knows Jojo is gay, and now he reveals something else. For some time, Jojo was dating Marcello, the victim. Working with Manu, who she's never gotten along with, Emma goes undercover in the International Congress of Families, a powerful organization seeking to criminalize homosexuality in African countries. As Emma infiltrates the ICF, she uncovers a web of deceit and hypocrisy and discovers, hypocrisy is not a crime, it's just sad, and discovers that the mastermind behind the murders is someone much closer than she ever imagined. Emma must race against time to unmask the killer, protect the vulnerable community, and bring justice to the victims, all while navigating the dangerous waters of politics, power, and personal secrets. End of line 1. Capture or Kill, a new Mitch Rapp novel by Vince Flynn, number 23. Good for him. April 2011. On a remote mountaintop overlooking the remains of the Iranian nuclear weapons program, Azad Ashani witnesses a Quds Force demonstration of a capability meant to upend America's war in the Middle East. Ashani, director of the Iranian Ministry of Intelligence and Security and Irene Kennedy's former back channel to the Iranian government, recognizes the demonstration's true significance and the nation-ending conflict it will provoke. Alone, Ashani stands no chance of preventing this rush to madness, but with the help of one man, he just might. In Washington, D.C., CIA Director Irene Kennedy's brief Kennedy briefs the president that the operational window to kill or capture Osama bin Laden at his recently discovered compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, is rapidly closing. But before he'll authorize a commando raid on Pakistani soil, the president demands irrefutable proof of bin Laden's presence. Proof he trusts just one man to provide. Preventing a looming war in the Middle East, just delivering justice for the nearly 3,000 Americans killed on 9/11 would be a big ask for anyone. Mitch Rapp isn't just anyone. So going into Zero Dark 30, Territory 2. The Estate of Clive Cussler has a new one out. Written by Mike Madden. When African jihadis attack a Nigerian regiment using American weapons, Cabrillo and the Oregon crew are on the case, investigating from Afghanistan to Kuala Lumpur to track a mysterious arms dealer, a genius or perhaps a devil, known only as the Vendor. Cabrillo goes undercover to find the Vendor's base, but his adversary isn't just an arms smuggler, he's an arms maker, and Cabrillo just walked into a lethal military game alongside the most dangerous mercenaries in the world, designed to test the Vendor's cutting-edge AI arsenal. And yet, surviving an arena full of flame-throwing robots isn't even his biggest problem. The Vendor has an army of high-speed drones headed for a pivotal military site, and if the Oregon crew can't stop them from releasing a deadly neurotoxin, the entire globe will erupt in conflict. Yeah, that's very cutting-edge stuff. Today's stuff. Jeffrey Deaver has a new one. Is he still alive? With Isabella Maldonado. Fatal Intrusion, first in the Sanchez and Heron series. Carmen Sanchez is a tough Homeland Security agent who plays by the rules, but when her sister is attacked, revealing a connection to a series of murders across Southern California, she realizes a conventional investigation will not be enough to stop the ruthless perpetrator. With nowhere else to turn, Sanchez enlists the aid of Professor Jake Heron, a brilliant and quirky private security expert who, unlike Sanchez, believes rules are merely suggestions. The two have a troubled past, but he owes her a favor, and she's cashing in. They team up to catch the assailant, who, mystifyingly, has no discernible motive and fits no classic criminal profile. All they have to go on is a distinctive tattoo and a singular obsession that gives this chillingly efficient tactician his nickname, Spider. Over the next 72 hours, Sanchez and Heron find themselves in the midst of a lethal chess match with the killer as they race to stop the carnage. As the victims mount, so do the risks, because this spider's web of intrigue is more sinister and goes far deeper than anyone could possibly anticipate. We've got some juicy stuff today. Sorry, copy was required. Madwoman by Chelsea Beaker. Clove has gone to extremes to keep her past a secret. Thanks to her lies, she's landed the life of her dreams, complete with a safe husband and two adoring children who will never know the terror that was the routine in her own childhood. If her buried anxiety threatens to breach the surface, Clove, if that is really her name, focuses on finding the right supplement, the right gratitude meditation. But when she receives a letter from a woman's prison in California, her past comes screeching into the present, entangling her in a dangerous game with memory and the people she thought she had outrun. As we race between her precarious present-day life in Portland, Oregon, and her childhood in a Waikiki high-rise with her mother and father, Clove is forced to finally unravel the defining day of her life. How did she survive that day, and what will it take to end the cycle of violence? Will the truth undo her, or could it ultimately save her? End of that row. I love Clive Cussler's books. They are That type, the Da Vinci Code type, are my guilty pleasures. One Last Chance to Live by Francisco X. Stork. What would you do if you had one last chance to live? Nico has always believed in his dreams, especially the dream he has of becoming a writer. It's the reason why he started taking a creative writing class his senior year of high school. But then Nico has a dream about his own funeral, a dream that feels too real to ignore. In it, Rosario is beckoning to him. Rosario was Nico's neighbor, his best friend's girlfriend, and his inspiration. She was also the girl that Nico was in love with, and Rosario died last year. Nico becomes obsessed with figuring out what Rosario was trying to say to him and how she died. Surely, if he can make sense of her death, he can find a way to prevent his own. But at the same time, Nico's mom is sick and his brother's falling down a bad path with a local gang. Nico knows it's on him to step up and take care of his family. But how can he keep it together when, like Rosario, he sees how easy it might be to just let go of it all? This book kills with a knife coming out of it by Ravenna Garon. I'll make it clear from the start. I did not kill Hugh Henry Van Boren. I didn't even help. Well, not intentionally. All Jess Chudari wants is to keep her head down, do her work, and make it through high school without any problems. As a scholarship student, and one of only 2 students of Indian heritage, her future at the elite school depends on her ability to keep a low profile and spotless record. But when one of the most popular and richest kids in the school ends up dead in the exact same way as a character in a short story she wrote, Jess unintentionally finds herself at the center of the investigation. And then Jess receives an anonymous text thanking her for the inspiration. As rumors run rampant around who the murderer could be, Jess knows if she doesn't solve this mystery herself, she'll finally have something in common with Hugh. She'll be dead also. Where They Last Saw Her by Marcy R. Rendon. All they heard was her scream. Quill has lived on the Red Pine Reservation in Minnesota her whole life. She knows what happens to women who look like her. Just a girl when Jimmy Sky jumped off the railway bridge and she ran for help, Quill realizes now that she's never stopped running. As she trains for the Boston Marathon early one morning in the woods, she hears a scream. When she returns to search the area, all she finds are tire tracks and a single beaded earring. Things are different now for Quill than when she was a lonely girl. Her friends Punk and Galen are 2 women who don't know what it means to quit. Her loving husband Crow and their 2 beautiful children challenge her to be better every day. So when she hears a second woman has been stolen, she is determined to do something about it, starting with investigating the group of men working the pipeline construction just north of their homes. As Quill closes in on the truth about the missing women, someone else disappears. In her quest to find justice for all the women of the reservation, she is confronted with the hard truths of their home and the people who purport to serve them. When will she stop losing neighbors, friends, family? As Quill puts everything on the line to make a difference, the novel asks searing questions about bystander culture, the reverberations of even one act of crime, and the long-lasting trauma of being considered invisible. The Accomplice by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. In The Accomplice, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson and award-winning mystery writer Aaron Philip Clarke, oh, with Aaron Philip Clarke, who's probably actually the ghostwriter, introduces readers to New York-born and Texas-bred Nia Adams, who always dreamt of becoming a Texas Ranger. She knows the dangers of the job, and as the first Black female Ranger, she knows the politics. But she's never encountered a criminal like Desmond Bell. A Vietnam vet turned thief, Desmond steals more than money. He steals the secrets of the rich and powerful and blackmails them for millions. When Desmond steals from the Duchamps, the wealthiest family in the country, Nia's investigation into the robbery threatens to expose him and the criminal enterprise he works for. As the bodies pile up, Nia digs deeper for the truth, putting her life and career in danger. It's a deadly cat game between ranger and thief, but to protect their family secrets, they won't hesitate to kill them both. End of that row. One more. The Reaping, Book 2 in Steinbeck and Reed series by Jess Laurie. In 1998, in Alcou, Minnesota, a family of 5 was brutally murdered in their sleep. The event shook the insulated community, but without any solid leads, was relegated to the cold case files, where it moldered for 25 years, until today. Agent Harry Steinbeck hoped never to return to the Northland, a place that holds terrible memories of his sister's abduction. But when a recent homicide is connected to Alcou's unsolved mass murder, he and cold case agent Evangeline Reed have no choice but to investigate. The case grows impossibly darker as one by one the children of Alcou begin disappearing, and Harry and Van can't shake the sensation that someone is watching every move they make. As an elusive killer's trail leads to a truth more sinister than either imagined, Harry knows there's only one way to crack this case. He must finally face the secrets of his own past, even if doing so will cost him everything. I apologize, I did it again. This is the book I was talking about. And that is all that I have for these. Mysteries and what? Thrillers. Well then, let's just go back to... It was there just a minute ago. There we go. Oof. All righty, that is all we have time for today. Your good news of the morning, all about books. Thank you very much for watching. I will repost this later. If you're not able to get up early and watch it live, that's okay. Tomorrow we'll be looking at romance. And tonight we will have sprints. Sprints at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. They'll go for 2.5 hours. Bring your own book, work on a project, or just close your eyes after a day. Entirely up to you. It is time carved out for your self-care. Oh, you're welcome, Anita. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a good Tuesday. We'll have to remember it's Tuesday. And be sure to, if you're reading a good book, awesome. If you're reading a book that you're not enjoying, it's okay to set it aside. It's not a reflection of you, the author, or the book. It's just not the right time for those 3 things to come together. You can always come back to it. It's just not the right time. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.